Hello, this is Historian. Welcome to my blog, or vlog as they call it, about art, history, and anything that really interests me. This week, I chose to speak on a topic that I'm really interested in, and it probably has to do with the fact that I just finished watching one of my favorite shows again, Little Mosque on the Prairie. It's such a cute show. It's out of Canada, and it's ridiculously cheesy and corny and just awful, but the characters are really endearing and I really love it. What I'm going to talk about this week, Islamic art. I find the concept of Islamic art fascinating. It differs quite a bit from what we're used to in Western art because our art is highly influenced by the Greeks and Romans who idolized the human form. Islamic art and art of the Middle East doesn't do that. In Islamic culture, they don't depict human forms and animal forms. It's not necessarily in the Quran that they can't do this, but it is in one of their sacred books called the Hadith. And in there, I read one of the quotes, or one of the passages, and it said, those who do drawings are... I can't paraphrase it correctly, but it talks about drawings of humans and refers to that as something that you shouldn't do. Because of that, it allows them to have an incredibly different aesthetic than we see in our culture or in different cultures around the world. Islamic art is full of patterns, and they use calligraphy with intricate designs to create a beautiful aesthetic, and it decorates all of their buildings and their art. I was reading about how one of the Byzantine emperors, that's what is now Turkey, created these coins that had human faces on it, and then the leader of Islam at that time didn't care for that, and so he created these coins that only had calligraphy on them. So it's a really important thing to their faith, and it creates an excellent aesthetic. An icon is a depiction of a religious figure, usually, and they were all over the Byzantine Empire, all over the Roman Empire, during the time when Muhammad started the Islamic religion. So you have this Islamic culture growing in Saudi Arabia with this idea of no depiction of human and animal forms. And in 630 CE, they start to raid churches for icons, and this is called iconoclasm. This was an idea of a rejection totally of icons. They didn't like it. They would go in churches and burn them. And then it wasn't just Islamic people. This happened all over the Middle East and a lot of Europe, and a lot of other cultures have had this kind of just tryst with icons. It's kind of like it's just a value system of a total rejection of everything, because Islamic people totally rejected the idea of icons because it was highly linked with the Roman Catholic Church, and they didn't care for that. So iconoclasm. This even happened during the Reformation. People that followed Martin Luther went into churches and started just destroying all of the Catholic relics and icons. So in the 600 CE, you have this kind of in-between area, which is Byzantine. They're in between the Holy Roman and the Islamic culture, and they eventually get taken over by the Ottoman Empire. And you can see the influence of the Ottoman Empire or Islamic culture in the reusing of the Hagia Sophia, which is a Eastern Orthodox church which has been transformed into a mosque. I find it interesting what the absence of an idea can bring about. So if you take the ability to create human form, what will arise out of that? And with Islamic culture, patterns and intricate design have arisen out of it. It's fascinating what humans can come up with when they're limited. I hope you enjoyed this video. I was just really excited to talk about it. I've been wanting to talk about this Islamic art for some time. Next week, I'm not going to have a video. I will be out of town, so not that anybody watches. But if you do watch and you miss it, it's because I didn't make one. I'm thinking that I need to do the South American video like I promised, and that will be coming up soon. And lots of other videos, and what else? Nothing else to say. How do I end this video?